Retro Rock plays everything.
Well, hello there, ladies and germs. It's time for another haul video. This is almost 100%. It is probably about 98% Atari and Atari related. So if you're not an Atari fan, this might not be the haul for you. I'm gonna start this by saying I got this haul off of ShopGoodwill, which I've had very mixed luck with. I've either had really good deals or some really terrible things go awry. This kind of lands right in the center. You'll see what I mean. The entire haul was about $130 delivered. There's some really interesting things in here, and there's some not so interesting things in here. Let's just get started. You don't want to hear this. All right. First, we have this Atari 2600 Vader. I'm going to note that the machines shown here all came with power supplies. All the Ataris that I show you, there's only 3 of them, but, well, Atari 2600s. All the Atari 2600 had power supplies. All the power supplies were bad. Just crazy. None of the power supplies worked. Fortunately, I have a lot of Atari 2600 power supplies around, so I did test them, and this one came right up. It does need some cleaning. As you can see, it's pretty dusty, but the Vader edition of the Atari 2600 I think is a very attractive one. This one will clean up really nice. Looking at it, it's pretty decent, and I think these are really sharp. They're one of my favorite Atari 2600 models, other than the Sears Arcade 2, which I think is probably the prettiest Atari ever made. I don't really like the Juniors very much, but I keep them, you know. Alright, so next. Also in this lot is the Light Sixer. That is the Light Sixer Atari 2600, worth a little bit more than the other models that I'm going to be showing you here. It's not, the Heavy Sixer is the most expensive one, but this sucker is not light either. I mean, it's heavier than the other ones in this group. It's pretty decent, solid Atari. People kind of like these because it's one that you can play every day. This one's a little bit flaky. I'm pretty sure once I clean it up it'll be okay. Occasionally, you know, they have some power supply problems, but they're not power supply problems, but problems on the board, but these are pretty easy to fix, so I'm not too concerned about it. It does come up. It's just not really very consistent at it, so I'll get that sussed out and then clean this puppy up, and it's going to be a great piece to put up. I really enjoy these. I think they look really nice with the kind of wood grain, and they're, you know, just neat to have around. All right, so way too much talking. Sorry about that. Next, here's one that I've cleaned up already, and I kind of wanted to show you this one last because I did clean it up. This one's going to be going over to Not Your Parents' Basement this weekend, and this is that standard 4. This is one of the more common models. You know, just a nice basic model. This one's in really nice shape. It was pretty dirty when I got it. It was about as dirty as the other ones, if not a little bit more. And I cleaned this one up, you know, took it apart, blew it out. It really wasn't too bad inside. And then I just basically took the board out and washed the living crap out of the frame. So there it is. Interesting thing on these models, they had this Atari toll-free phone number. So if you want to call that and tell me what you get, just let me know. I wonder if this was like a refurb model or something that had that. I don't remember that being on my Atari. Alright, next. Sorry it's taking so long to get stuff up here. One Tac-2 Controller. This I have also cleaned up. This thing was a disaster, but it's one of the reasons I bought the lot. These can go for quite a bit, especially lately they've been going for a ridiculous amount. This one had a problem moving to the right. Both the buttons weren't working, but a quick cleanup and a little bit of elbow grease other than that, and it works just great. I mean, seriously, I was testing this. This is probably going to be my new main joystick. I've always loved this model, and this one cleaned up is great, so I'm really happy about that. Alright, next I'm going to put some other things up all at one time, because they're not that super interesting. Got some, you know, the usual beat to crap Atari 2600 controllers. I take the cables and use them for rebuilds and stuff. Here's one that's at least intact. So, you know, if these two don't work, and this one, or if this one doesn't work, I'll do some repairs on it with the other two. Here's something kind of interesting. This is called a booster grip, and I never had one of these back in the day, and I actually, even when I was a kid, was kind of ridiculous about constantly buying weird stuff like this, but basically this fits on top of the Atari 2600 controller, and you plug it in here. You plug the 2600 controller into it. Here we go. What a pain. Is it got bent pins? Let's see. There we go. No. There we go. Okay. And then boom. You've got a trigger grip on the top of your Atari 2600 controller. Functionally, it's okay. It adds a little bit of grip that's much needed to the controller, and it does give a trigger, so it does what it sets out to do. Interesting though, right? And I haven't had one of these in my in my collection before, so I'm really happy about that. Can't speak English. All right, more stuff. Pair of paddles. These work fine. Yay! I can always use more paddles. I probably got about, I don't know, 3 sets of these, but they tend to die at shows a lot, so it's nice to have an extra set of paddles. And it's good to have an extra set that actually works. Let's see, what else do we get? Oh, yeah, some of these. I don't have anything real great to say about them, but these are the Atari Flashback 4s. They can take either these physical controllers, yeah, like the other ones are virtual controllers. They can either take these wired controllers. Here, I'll show you one close up here. Out of the front, or they can use a wireless controller like this guy I've got over here. They're pretty infamous for not working very well. I think I did a video review on the 4 and had some complaints about how well they connect. You gotta basically aim these things like right at them. This is not a problem with the new 8s, by the way. The new 8s have a way better joystick system as far as the wireless goes. Alright, more stuff. Alright, this isn't very interesting, but for some reason there were a couple of Game Boy adapters in here. So, well, I don't know. I have a lot of Game Boys, so that's useful. I think these are DS ones, right? That face, it's a DS one, isn't it? As I recall. Feel free to correct me. Next, I also got this Boss controller that needs a replacement grommet. I do replace grommets on Wico joysticks. This one, however, not going to happen. The Boss actually retails for about, 10 to 15 bucks, and it cost me 10 bucks to get the grommets, so I only do their more high-end controllers. Okay, sorry about that fade out. Now we've got some games for you. Atari 80 classic games in one. I believe this is for Windows, isn't it? Yes, it is. Windows 98 ME 2000 XP. Yep, there we go. 80 authentic Atari games. So that's okay, right? Miss Pac-Man, not very interesting. JJ's copy of Frogger. JJ, if you're out there, buddy, I got your Frogger, so give me a holler and I'll get that back to you. Combat. This is Casey's copy of Combat. Probably my 100th copy of Combat. At MGC this year, I'm probably going to have a big bin of these like repeat cartridges, so if you're interested in them, it's going to be like a, grab one, trade one type of situation. So, if you have anything you want to dump off or anything you see in here you want to pick up, they'll probably be in that bin. Like doing that. Alright, I think I've got everything there, but there's one last thing, and I want to show you this because this is really neat, and it is also something I have not seen before. Hold on. Ta-da! It's a giant lump of plastic. Oh, but what a lump of plastic this is. Yeah, I know, you're saying, Rob, really? You're excited about an electric typewriter case? No, that's not what this is. This is an Atari 2600 storage case, and it kicks butt. Now, I gotta tell ya, I came close to throwing this out. I had no idea really what it was. I looked up the Atari case, and this was not it. It was not the Atari branded Atari case, which I thought it might be by the pictures. And looking at it, it looks like some crappy tool case, right? Not a crappy, you know, I love tools, but like one of those molded ones for like a drill or something. But watch this. Here we go. Get those in there. Here, I gotta stretch this out a little bit. Next, 2 Atari controllers for you and a friend. And they all sit in a certain way. There we go. And they have to sit in that way. 1 power supply sits in this way. You gotta sit in there, right, bud? There we go. 1 Atari 2600. Goes right in this cavity. Everything gets shoved right in there for storage. Nice too, because you don't have to route anything really. It just gets shoved right the heck in there. That's the way you do it. 70s or early 80s style. All right. Couple of your favorite cartridges. Look at that. Now, snap the top on. Turn on the back, make sure none of your cables are out. It does have like a little routing thing on the back here. Snap, snap, and boom. Look at that. You can take your Atari to your friend's house or to your next business meeting. Just pop out this Atari, make new friends, probably get fired. Still, really cool, and all thanks to this dropping out of there at the right time, and I noticed it and I said, holy crud, that's amazing. So this is probably my favorite thing, honestly, in here. I mean, I love the Ataris and all, don't get me wrong, but this is one cool little storage unit. It's a lot like the rental ones for the 16-bit stuff. So really cool. Anyway, a real quick flyover of this. Here, I'm gonna move this guy over. Shouldn't leave it on. You can see how tight everything is in there. Wait. And you see how there's little cavities for everything? Really neat. Well, alright, that is it. I've hit the end of this haul. So, like I said, about 130, 140 bucks delivered. What do you think? Did I do okay? Yeah, I think I did pretty okay. Do me a favor, comments below, and thumbs up, and tell your friends. I will see you in a couple days, maybe even tomorrow. Bye.
Retro Rocks Gaming Videos.